Okay, we got a game developer's rant on skill-based matchmaking. Let me see.
The failure of modern skill based matchmaking is that it's designed to maximize perfect match scenarios and they minimize the others.
Oh, okay, let's look at this sentence. Failure SBMM, this is just his opinion, is that it's designed to maximize these perfect match scenarios and minimize non-perfect match scenarios. So, okay, perfect match scenarios, but like we would have to figure out what's a perfect match scenario. Is a perfect match scenario like a 50-50 split, like an equal chance for like one team chance to win to like another team? Is that uh is that a perfect match scenario? And if that is, I think that's fine if you're like trying to apply it to like a rank ladder. But if it's not ranked, then for any other one of your games, like public matches or party modes or whatever, like casual fun modes, yeah, this is stupid.
When it's working, a majority of games become super tight, super stressful,
Hmm.
and that's not fun for most players. So, where exactly is the variability?
Okay, let me go back. We're gonna do this the whole video.
So, where exactly?
Wait, let me go back. Let me go back. When it's working, when SBMM is working, majority of games become super tight. Yes, people that elect to do the ranked mode of their favorite video game understand this wholeheartedly because that's just their choice. That's how they want to play their video game. And that's fine to have super tight, super stressful matches. I also agree with this. That's not fun for most players. Very true. You shouldn't be pushing your players to do the ranked version of your favorite video game. You should have like a good enough fucking game to where it's the players where they like you convince the player that the game is good enough to pursue like getting a decent rank in the video game. You should not force them to go and play the ranked mode in the game. Where's the variability? Yeah, the variability should be in the casual playlist and the party playlist of your favorite video game.
Super tight, super stressful, and that's not fun for most players.
True.
So, where exactly is the variability? Is a tweet made by Max Hoberman
Yeah.
in regards to an article defending skill based matchmaking.
Oh. So wait. So the article, let me get if I understand this. This article defends skill-based matchmaking and wants it in, well, I don't know. I didn't read this article. Maybe he'll go over it. This article is defending skill-based matchmaking, but the other dude is against skill-based matchmaking. This is like, I've been talking about this for a while. Skill-based matchmaking is fine for the ranked playlist of your video game and dog shit for the public playlist and any like party mode of your video game.
Max Hoberman, former multiplayer online and US.
And like, why aren't we talking about that? People are talking about, is skill-based matchmaking good or bad? And I've been like listening. Nobody ever clarifies how skill-based matchmaking is being applied. It's ridiculous and it's disingenuous, and I'm sick and tired of it. Like, can you guys talk like how skill-based matchmaking is actually applied? Like, either like is it like 100% applied, or how some games will be like it'll only be like soft skill-based matchmaking or whatever, and even then it's still like not even good feeling.
UX design lead for Halo 2 and Halo 3 writes this tweet.
Oh,
I see mention of the skill-based matchmaking component I designed for Halo 2 and 3 on this site every so often. It's usually mentioned reverently,
mm-hmm.
but then an outlier jumps in to claim it can't work today.
I disagree. Okay, so I see mention of the SBMM component designed for Halo 2 and 3 on this site every so often. Yeah, like when I played Halo 2 and 3 back in the day on the good old, was it the original Xbox or the Xbox 360? I don't remember at this point. I did dabble in the ranked mode, but I don't remember like what skill or what like rank I got to be honest. But it was very simple to understand. There, what was it, like from 1 to 100? Whenever you win X amount of matches, you like go up a rank or whatever, and if you lose a couple matches, you go down a rank, and your teammates would be within a range. So let's say you're like level 40, you would get people level, or like the entire lobby would be around, I don't know, plus 1, 2, or 3 levels of uh, that that level. There wouldn't be any like level 50s or 60s going against like level 40s or whatever the fuck. Um, but then an outlier jumps in to claim it can't work today. So he's saying that the Halo matchmaking system of 2 and 3 can't work today. I mean, we'll see.
I disagree. The ignorance here is infuriating. In response to this article, mentioning skill-based matchmaking is an algorithm that groups players of similar skill level together for more balanced matches.
And I mean, I think this person is talking about this in reference to Dead by Daylight, but like a lot of the skill-based matchmaking shit comes from like Call of Duty and like modern shooters and whatnot. So I mean, I'm just gonna talk about it in reference to like FPSs and shit like that. But we'll see if there's like any like similarities or overlap between Dead by Daylight and FPSs. We'll see. Um, as far as like the actual algorithm goes, you will never see the minutia, the detail, the actual things that make your account, your character achieve a certain rank. Because if that information ever did get leaked, people would 100% game it in every single possible way. It's just a fact of the matter. You cannot allow players to know the actual nuts and bolts that make up the algorithm. Obviously, there's like the very huge umbrella of like just get good, just win, play the meta, and like you'll eventually get up there. But as far as knowing like the accuracy, like shots fired versus shots hit, versus like a damage taken or whatever, versus like grenades thrown versus grenades hit, like how much around the map did you move, at what velocity did you move, how much did you crouch spam if your game has crouching and all this other shit, how much did you slide cancel, how much did you bunny hop, and all this other shit. Yeah, you cannot reveal that information to the player base because it would 100% get gamed.
When it comes to fairer games, why is there any controversy? Well, coming from an actual game developer, when I implemented cleanly divided the space into ranked and unranked matchmaking playlists. Ranked filtered opponents based on level. This was for when you wanted a competitive match. But even then, I intentionally allowed a variability in the range of levels we matched you with.
Okay, this is fine. I don't see anything like wrong with this, because you have to understand that when a developer makes a matchmaking system or some form of skill-based matchmaking, and the game is not even released yet, and they're like a developer's like making an FPS game, they're trying to figure out, they're trying to predict what type of guns are going to be good, what type of guns are going to be bad. And this is going to be dependent on like, what type of FPS game it is. There's, CSGO and Valorant, which is like fast time to kill, nearly instant, versus like Apex or Finals, which is like a larger time to kill, versus like Call of Duty, which is like a medium or something like that, versus like Warzone or something. It's very hard for a developer, that like the developer themselves, to try to predict a meta and within a reasonable margin of error, to try to figure out, okay, because when you set these parameters, I would say it's nearly impossible. I mean, obviously you could just go off the bat and be like, okay, anytime this guy has an interaction with like an enemy, he's always winning. He wins like 100% of the time. accurate, like 100% accuracy, blah blah blah. But you can't really go off that because most people don't fall in that like 1/10 of like top 1/10 of 1 percentile. You have to figure out like the bell curve of where most players will fall. And I think that's the hardest part, really, trying to figure out where like the middle 70% percentile or 80 or whatever or 90% of where players like land. I think it's really hard to try to quantify that.
And this is an important point because without variability, when we match players that are just fairly evenly skilled together, it makes matches more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Which he writes, why not always evenly match people though? My reasoning was that these are actually the most stressful matches of the set. Sure, they're the most...
Okay, why not always evenly match people though? This is going to be contextualized around, I mean, he's probably talking about Halo 2 and 3 ranking system, like the ranked mode of Halo 2 and 3. Why not always evenly match people though? My reasoning was that, well, these are actually the most stressful matches of the set. So, from what I remember, whenever you played Halo 2 and 3 ranked, like a match was literally one playthrough of a mode. It's one playthrough of capture the flag. It's one playthrough of, what do you call it? Like territories, one playthrough of TDM or whatever. It's a one and done. And that's like for like the public ranked playlist. But from what I've seen, a lot of modern day shooters don't operate under that one and done type of like matchmaking or whatever. So you can't really say, like, what does he mean? Like the most stressful matches of the set. For Halo 2 and 3, I don't really remember you staying in a lobby and you just, I'd have to go back and like see like what it was like again. It wasn't like a best of 5 or a best of 7 type of a match set. I mean, if it was, I mean, then the matches of the set applies. But like for Halo 2 and 3, it was you load into a match, play it, and then it's done. So stressful matches of the set. I mean, I don't really understand this part of the sentence. It's like if you queue into a match, it's kind of assumed that it's gonna be within range of your level, whatever it is.
Most fun to watch for spectators. Games come down to the...
Oh yeah, like the 50-50s are fantastic to watch from an audience perspective. But from a competitive perspective, it's like super stressful and shit. But like, hey, this is what you signed up for. Deal with it. I show no what do you call it? I don't feel sorry for you for queuing into like some whatever match at a 50-50 win rate. I don't care. I just want to be entertained.
That's because the team that wins is the team that outperforms expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're constantly matching people up of similar skill level over and over again, all they're going to be is stressed out all the time.
True. But you have to take into consideration that no one is forcing, is he talking about like an average player back in the day that played Halo 2 and 3 ranked modes that just, just powerballed, like just go like queue into a match and just do that for like 8 straight hours and you're dealt like nothing but 50-50s of like skill-based matchmaking the entire time? Yes, there is that, but even like, I think this sentence would apply more so to what do you call it? Like an actual like tournament, more so than what do you call it? Like the ranked, doing like a ranked playlist just in your favorite video game. Because no one is really forcing you to hit the Q button. Like, I don't care if you're a streamer or whatever. I don't give a fuck. No one's forcing you to hit the Q button. If you do a 50-50 match and you win, you're like, your nerves are like tingling and like, oh God, bro, just like take a break for like a couple minutes and then queue again.
People have to adapt to the environment they've been forced to play in. Being stressed out all the time, having to play sweaty. If you check the Dead by Daylight content creator Twitch streams, you'll probably notice that a lot more people are playing sweatier more than ever before.
Yeah, I mean, and this is true of FPS. Well, I think this is true of FPS as well, because there is simply a lack of casual and party modes for FPS games, or at least like the popular relevant ones or whatever. I can't imagine the fucking Dead by Daylight community. Like the last time I played DBD was like years ago, and there was only like casual, like public mode, and then there was like ranked mode, and I think I played during like when they had the emblems, but I haven't played up until that point again, because I mean, when I played, I only played with like some friends or whatever, and like it was fun. I enjoyed my time, but it was like what I saw, because I'm like a casual tryhard. I saw what I needed to do to get better, and I was like, this is too stressful. I'm not trying to memorize all this dumb shit. This is dumb. Fuck this. So I just like stopped playing. But yeah, this is true for FPS as well.
The only way to have fun in a matchmaking system where everyone is always stressed out is to play harder, play sweatier, go for win streaks, tunnel, camp, slug,
oh, Jesus.
Stop, which is a paradox when we scroll down into the article, mentioning that skill-based matchmaking prevents people from queuing into an unrelenting meat grinder.
Okay. What this article is probably trying to say, but is not doing it well. Flashbang. Boom. Line. Where? And then, come on. Do I make another line? Okay. So, pencil. You got the high point right here. You got, let's see, like outlier right there, outlier right there, and then you go, whoop. Ooh, okay, this is not like perfect or whatever, but you know what I mean. So this is like the center, and this is like that. This is like this. I probably should have left it on the line, whatever. Something like this. So this is going to be, this area right here is going to be where most of your player base in your favorite video game resides. And this is going to be somewhere between, I don't know, 70 to like 90% of the player base. And like over like, you know, this is like a brand new player right there, and this is like 10,000 hour bro. You know, they're like over here. There's like 5%. There's another like 5% or whatever. So skill-based matchmaking works for everybody from here to here. It does its job. SBMM good. And then once you cross this like threshold point, this is where SBMM is bad. Bad, whatever. So yeah, like and also as time goes on, the total player count goes down for any video game, and this is just true of any video game. And the people that stay, that play the game, they are slow. Like the more people that, like, if a game like starts to like slowly like fall off or whatever, the people that are gonna stay there, their skill is going to increase just naturally. So people become better and better at the game, and they start to push themselves just like over this threshold, and more people start to push themselves over here. And when you have more people on this side of the threshold, there's going to be a perception of skill-based matchmaking bad, because you know, I mean, in Apex's example, for a while they had this whole like weird, unofficial, wonky version of like a Big Brother, and whenever you solo queued into like the ranked mode, there would be like one good guy and like two new people provide, and the assumption was like this one person can carry those people, and it was like stupid and dog shit and bad and whatever. But I mean, it's whatever. I would imagine this is similar for Dead by Daylight as well. And also, this is probably going to be true for the ranked playlist. Like, when you start to apply skill-based matchmaking to the casual playlist, it's just doubly bad. Because nobody asked for it.
Full of sweaty teens hopped up on monster energy and lack of experience in the real world.
Okay, now this is just getting into ad homs attacks.
Facing off against players with a similar level of practice is a good way to ensure.
To be fair, all the people that are really good at their favorite video game are not hopped up on like energy drinks. Like, that's the last thing you want. Your hand fucking shaking, or your little thumbs like shaking to hold the controller stick still. Like, that's not it, dude. It's just like it's a silly stereotype in order to like paint a like competitive play in a bad way.
Ensure that you're all going to have the most enjoyable possible experience.
Okay, let's break this little part down too. If you only have a few hours to spare to play whichever shooter you favor each week, okay. This first sentence signals to me that the person that only has a few hours to spare to play some favorite video game, I'll even expand it to like beyond video games and into like a shooter or out of a shooter, a few hours to spare. Let's say you got like 2-3 hours, let's say 2 hours. Well, actually, let's push it to 3. Let's say you got 3 hours a day for like your work days. You come home and it's like, so you got like 15 hours to play, and then maybe on the weekend you spend it like with your family, your friends, whatever. And then on another day, it's like, oh, you're not doing anything. There's like maybe like 5 hours that day. It's like, oh yeah. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. You got like 20 hours to spare. Facing off against players with similar skill level of practice is a good way to ensure that you're going to have the most enjoyable possible experience. Like, to me, this signals that this person is probably a casual person, and when a casual person is looking for an enjoyable experience, a competitive person or even a casual tryhard person doesn't really care about how enjoyable the experience is. They want a fair experience. The enjoyableness and the fairness of a match are two different things.
That you're all going to have the most enjoyable possible experience. Skill-based matchmaking is a necessary part of maintaining a healthy player base.
Okay, I mean, I just deleted my like big old bell curve or whatever, but skill-based, like I said, skill-based matchmaking is good for the casual side and dog shit for the competitive side in casual and party modes. Nobody cares or gives a shit about skill-based matchmaking in the ranked playlist. It's expected.
And it prevents hardcore players from going on power trips where they go.
What? Oh, really? Bro, it's more of a feature that exists wholly in service of the casual. Okay, so at least this article acknowledges that skill-based matchmaking is there to protect the lower skill bracket of players.
Go on a 50-to-1 kill-death ratio in FPS shooters. Now, if skill-based
it go like the whole 50-to-1 kill-death ratio and like montage farming thing in FPS games, I think is a joke. I mean, me personally, this is like a popular way to make content is to, you know, I mean, at least in Call of Duty, like back in the day, well, not back in the day, but like recent back in the day, like last like five-ish years or something like that. You know, you fucking tank your KD in order to get like a bot lobby with lower skill people, and then you farm that lobby and you go like 100 and 0, and then voila, there's your content for the week, the day, the whatever. And yeah, like that stuff is like stupid to me. 100%. Anybody that is, I don't know, it's hard to say this. Well, not really, but like anybody that's worth a damn, and like and you could tell like who's good and who's bad. Anybody that's like worth a damn is not like doing fucking kill montages. Kill montages are kill montage videos are good content for like the general audience, not the competitive audience of your viewer base. And that's what, I don't know if this article like shows that or whatever.
This matchmaking prevents all of that. Why, when it comes to Dead by Daylight content creation, all I see these days are win streaks.
Oh, the win streaks. Oh, so this is a thing in so pointless kill montages are a thing in Dead by Daylight content creation. And yeah, this, I mean, the whole like kill montage thing, and like in recent memory, a lot of people, you know, this is a thing that happens in live service or constant online service games in recent history, because they have been getting a little more popular. You know, with the reset of each season or towards the end of the season, high level people in their favorite video game, dependent on whether they are or are not a content creator versus like a competitive player, they will go on these unranked to like what do you call it, to like master, unranked to predator, unranked to global elite tears or whatever, and they'll do these like super long streams, or they'll do it in one stream. And it's I just don't agree with smurfing. Smurfing is like the stupidest thing that exists. It doesn't, the only person it serves is the one person doing the smurfing, and it's horrible. I think it should be like reportable. It's just stupid. Because you're out of content, you need to figure out, you need to like go on a gigantic tear of the lower lobbies in order for you to like get more content for your channel and whatever. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, that, yeah, you could make the argument of like, oh, I'm marketing the video game and whatnot. You know, it's a form of marketing and all this other jazz. If I can't do this, or what, my content's gonna be boring, viewers go down, blah blah blah. I mean, it's whatever. You could get into the minutia of it, or whatever. But I mean, that's not the type of content I consume. But I don't know. Maybe like for somebody else, like watching a Smurf video of like going unranked to top 500 or whatever could be that person's first video that they see. And that could inspire them to, you know, play the video game. You know, that new person could get in there, start to play the game casually, and then because of like some video. And I mean, I think that's fine, but I don't know if I think it's fine, really. It's just, I don't know. It's a tenuous thing to balance. It's either it is fine or it's not fine. I just, it feels stupid.
They were doing the second episode of 50 win streak,
1,000 kill streak, 826 games in a row
with each killer
on Wesker
as Blight with Nurse.
It almost feels like it went from content creation focusing on meme builds, highlighting crazy moments, to only sweating, only doing win streaks, tunneling and camping more often. No matter how many base kit changes we do with an anti-camp feature and nerfs to gen regression, nerfs to gen progression, people have to adapt to their environments. And from a top-down level, from veterans to casual players, these sweaty, stressful matches aren't just exclusively played at...
What is this? Why Skullbase SBMM is particularly annoying. Right? Oh, what is this? Do we read this? I mean, I think we could. Okay, what is this? So like the purple one. Reverse boosting to play against... Oh, this is like purple on black is like the worst idea. Reverse boosting to play against people that have zero situational awareness for a few games. That's why? Okay, people that reverse boost as like a good player jumping in here and skill-based matchmaking sticks them in there. So like, what's this blue one then? You've had time to think about what you have done and performed poorly in higher skill brackets under 1.0 KDR, but not below 0.50. So let's try to figure out where you belong again. Play how you want with whatever guns you want. Everyone else is. Yeah. Agree. And then what's this green one? Right where the game wants you. The lobby with others at your skill level, roughly 1 KDR. All around, usually a close match with a fairly mixed bag of playstyles. Okay, that's like right smack dab in the middle. And then what's this orange one? Looks like you were doing a little too well in your previous skill bracket, probably averaging 1.25, 1.5 KDR. Will bump you up to the higher skill brackets, a combination of better players, and a lot more tryhards doing meta loadouts and camping. Is this like a little analysis thing on like Call of Duty? Okay, so then we get past that one, and then what's this red one? You were doing too well. 2+ KDR. We're moving you way up. There are basically punishment rounds having getting blown away by players that are much higher skill, as well as people sweating hard during their 725 hiding in the same building the entire game. Okay, so this entire thing just seems like a little biased with like the little attacks at the end of the sentence, so I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, let's just keep going.
The top level, but also the upper mid, and lower levels as well, where the game's identity becomes a sweat fest. And that's the only type of content that can exist and thrive. But Coconut, why can't you just make meme content and just do meme builds, make crazy plays? Well, because people become what they consume. When a normal player is put within a sweaty, stressful environment 24/7 every single day, they become the embodiment of that. Anything less of the sweaty, stressful gameplay experience is inferior content. Hence, less meme builds, less fun content, less casual content, and more hardcore content, competitive content.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe our community wants competitive play. No, you're creating the environment of which, where that is the only type of community that you can manifest.
Dang. This dude is spitting straight facts right now. Yeah, I mean, if most content creators skew towards like the sweaty type of content, then yeah, that's just what your audience wants. They don't want the meme stuff. But I don't know. I don't really have any disagreements, like, really. I mean, he's right.
But let's go on. Well, I implemented cleanly divide the space into ranked and unranked matchmaking playlists. Ranked filters opponents based on level.
So, okay. I had like a wave of thoughts, and then I'm just gonna let it pass. Okay, let's. What I implemented cleanly divided in the space into ranked and unranked playlists. You know, this is to go back to Halo 2 and 3. There was ranked and unranked playlists.
This was for when you wanted a competitive match, but even then, I intentionally allowed variability in the range of levels we matched you with. This variability was a
Yeah, this is fine. This seems good. What is wrong with this? Having some level of variability within the ranked playlist instead of like a 100% 50-50 type of match, all right?
Topic of hot debate internally during development 20 years ago. Obviously, no one wants to be stomped continuously. On the flip side, it gets dull for most people, continuously stomping others. However, it is fun to have the upper hand some of the time.
Yeah.
By intentionally...
Yeah. And this is like really true of like video games with, you know, the what do you call it? Since the entering of skill-based matchmaking is like Inception, like the first game that did it, like at least on like a huge public level. Yes, there was like ranked modes in games before this time, but you know, the whole public what was it? It was called, what was it? Call of Duty 2019 implemented skill-based matchmaking in all of their matches, and there was no ranked mode in the game or any subsequent game for many years. So yeah,
allowing a range of skills to match together, we provided 3 experiences in ranked matchmaking: an easier one where you can kick butt, a harder one where you're likely outmatched, and an evenly matched one. My theory was that a good mix of these 3 was ideal.
oh dang, this dude's spitting facts. Okay, but like I think the question is, it's just a manner of degree, like what's the range? If the range of skill of, like, let's take that the 3 levels. Sometimes you kick butt versus a match is like even, and then a match is like, oh, it's really stacked against you, and these are supposed to be like about the same versus like the range. So this is like ideal at where everything is like kind of equal or whatever, but like what it feels like sometimes for skill-based matchmaking is, since this is like a decent range, sometimes it feels like this is the range. It's like way tighter. There's not a lot of range here. Yes, they're all like H's, but it's just with certain games, the range feels a little bit like bigger or whatever, versus some other games where the range doesn't feel as variable as what Mr. Max Hoberman, is that, I think that's how you say it, what he describes. So this is probably what he is describing, but this is what is actually in modern games. And this is just like a general, you know, you could get like into the minutia of like how much the range matters or whatever, but let's just keep going.
We're currently living in a universe where every match is a harder one, where you're likely outmatched, or an evenly matched one.
Yeah.
When players constantly play a stressful match after another stressful match, another stressful match, another stressful match, where's the catharsis?
There's the catharsis, the emotional, what is it? Elation or whatever of winning a match.
A constant build of pressure over and over and over again, to the point where people feel like they need to take a break playing Dead by Daylight.
Damn.
And that brings me to the point where people say it's healthy to take a step back from playing the game, which is true. And that's probably why the people on my friends list that are playing Dead by Daylight have shrunk drastically. As people are playing other games that allow them to feel that sense of relief.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our game stressing people out, why aren't we designing a system that also provides that sense of relief?
Yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing that more competitive games need to like understand. It is not enough for you to just come out with a competitive mode. You need to have like obviously you have like your bread and butter of like casual mode of your game, competitive mode of your game, but then you need to have a bunch of like silly party whatever modes that take into account your entire game's like physics system or whatever, that, you know, you just make a bunch of different like funny silly modes, and there's nothing competitive about it. They're just there to have fun. That's it. Just come out with more silly modes to keep, you know, not only, you don't always have to like push the competitive, the ranked mode of your favorite video game. If you want to chill back and like just take a break, just go play like some silly whatever modes. But a lot of the games that are popular for their competitiveness, simply they don't have those modes. They just don't.
The only emotion that players feel is sweat and stress. You can imagine how they feel within a month time period, year time period. They'll eventually quit your game. which is also the reason why a lot of content creators are quitting the game. There is a lack of heartbeat, where there's usually an up, a down.
I think a game that does this really well, of having a bunch of silly modes and like the casual public mode and like the ranked mode of their game, I think Rocket League does this really well. And I think the old school Halo 2 and 3 games did this really well with like all their bunch of different silly modes, and even more so when they added the Forge. But really, like, Rocket League does this fantastically. You know, you have your competitive like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. And then outside of that, you can play like the casual, like public version of those modes. And then outside of that, you have like all those like little silly modes of like hoops. What else is there? There's that one mode where it's like you get all those little power ups and shit like that because it's like a physics game and whatnot. So I think Rocket League does it fantastically.
On a midpoint, an essence of variability, where the essence of Mother Nature is a mimicry of real life. And when our game lacks that relief, that catharsis, that release of stress that we're constantly feeling all the time, we end up pushing people away from our game and killing our core player base, which is exactly what's happening right now. I don't think it's too late, but something obviously needs to be done about this. Content creators or legions of devoted fans just regurgitate the same views. Their argument is that there's something inherently unfair about grouping skilled players in matches with other skilled players, but that's quite clearly ridiculous.
Wait, their primary what do you mean? It's no coincidence that the system's most vocal detractors are almost invariably content creators or legions of their devoted fans who uncritically regulate the same views. Okay, so this is from the perspective of like a hardcore casual content creator that's like just spends like their entire stream session in their favorite like shooting game or whatever. Their primary argument is that there's something inherently unfair about grouping skilled players in matches with other skilled players, but this is quite clearly completely ridiculous. What? Wait, there's something inherently unfair about grouping skilled players with other skilled players. Wait, why? Unfair about grouping skilled players in matches with other skilled players. But this is quite... I just simply am not like understanding this.
It's
like what is this?
Supporting a football team where one team is getting pummeled and clearly outmatched.
Oh, okay. So like with the football team that goes like 70-0 or some shit, it's like not that fun to watch. Yeah.
This kind of sounds similar to a certain game developer that compared Dead by Daylight to hockey.
Skilled play inherently leads to kills or escapes. Think about sports, and I'll use hockey as an example because I'm Canadian. You wouldn't say the only count wins when placing teams in the standings, but they should also count shots on goal too. A more skilled player takes more shots.
We forget to mention that sports are competitive events that people watch to see the best of the best face off for a prize pool of money. Now, when we take that sentiment to comparing video games to sports and stretch it over an entire video game, it gets to the point where every match feels like people are playing like their life is on the line.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like going with like the ranked mode of this game. Behavior has implemented several different things to Dead by Daylight, once thought of as a party game, to encourage folks to play like their life depends on the game. DC penalties, skullbaits matchmaking, etc. Yeah, I mean, initially, like I can't make the same argument for Dead by Daylight that I can with FPS. So I think FPSs were just inherently competitive in that it's just really hard to put a reticle on someone and keep it on there, even standing still. Even more so, you want to add movement in there. Like shooting games are just inherently competitive. You're trying to like each person is trying to do the same thing and dodge what the other person is doing. Dead by Daylight is like an asymmetrical like game. It was like one killer, 4 survivors. So I don't know if, and them trying to like add like a ranked mode into like this like asymmetrical game or whatever. I don't like. There's nothing inherently competitive about something that's asymmetrical. Like I just don't like maybe I'd have to investigate this more or whatever, but like what other sports are like asymmetrically like made like Dead by Daylight? Like I don't think that you'd have to like do like a point by point breakdown of like I mean I do think like it was like just meant as like a whatever fun game, but it was just like popular for a long enough time that people were like, oh, where's rank mode, where's rank mode, okay, I added rank mode, okay. Yeah, people are DCing with whenever they feel like they got tunneled or whatever. Okay, so DC penalty. Okay, I'm just getting trounced by these 10,000 hour bros. Okay, skill based matchmaking and so on and so forth. And so I don't know.
Like this $20,000 at stake. It's often an argument point that I see people complaining about how every match feels like a competitive tournament where everyone's sweating over and over again. And it feels like that way for a reason. Due to the lack of foresight for a player having fun and the name of game-wide fairness.
Most recent skill-based matchmaking test resulted in fairer matches across the board for players of all skill levels. Well, the fairness factor, I already examined this. Like, the people that want fairness are the top level people. The people that want fun are the low skill people. They don't care about how fair it is. They just want to have fun in the game.
But fairness does not necessarily mean fun.
Yeah, true.
The system I designed for ranked playlists ensure a healthy mix. Sure, it sucks watching your favorite team get their butt kicked in, but it comes full circle when they're the ones kicking butt.
Yeah.
Throw in tight, evenly matched games every so often, and that's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Like the heartbeat analogy I once mentioned, a constant rhythm with ups, downs, mids, and lows is fun because of the essence of variability to
I mean, this is like I think this is like a semantics thing. Like this it's not semantics, but it's like it's subjective. Like what one person could find fun, someone else might not find fun or whatever. Obviously, like I said before, a tighter match is fantastic for the audience experience. A tight match it feels like horrible. It feels dog shit. You're stressed out if you are the actual players competing in the match. On the opposite side, if you're doing a match and one team is winning, like for basketball, if one team is winning by like 20, 30 points, it's, this team is chilling. They can just go at the game and like start sinking like threes or whatever, and they're chilling. They're in relax mode. This is good for one side of the match, horrible for the other side of the match, and as an audience experience, this is also not a good experience. An audience does not want to see a blowout. Like look at boxing or whatever. Do you want to, like if or mixed martial arts or whatever? If you go and see like a boxing match or a fucking MMA fight, you don't want to see a quick little like boom like knockout in like the first 5-10 seconds. You want to go there and see the entire like 5 matches or 10 matches or whatever, and you want to have like a long drawn out even back and forth of a match. You want to see that. You don't want to see a blowout where someone just gets like clocked in the first 5-10 seconds. It's just not fun to see. But from the competitive standpoint, I mean, you're trying to fucking knock that dude out or whatever in the first like 5-10 seconds. Fuck that.
have stressful games sometimes with a little relief. I haven't even gotten to unranked playlists yet. I designed these to not factor in skill/level in the search of opponents. Yes, our engineers utilized the same codebase and kept skill/level as a search criteria, but we substantially deprioritized it in matchmaking, which Choi also mentioned as to one of the reasons why the lights out modifier didn't feel fun,
Lights Out. Does Lights Out have skill-based matchmaking? It partially does. Oh my god. It does use your MMR to find you a match, but it does not change your MMR win or lose. In short, there's no stakes. Don't worry. But if there's no stakes, then why are you adding in skill-based matchmaking? If the stakes don't matter, why are you adding skill-based matchmaking in? If the stakes don't matter, take the skill-based matchmaking out.
Because behavior and
The reason why they don't take it out is because it does matter. There are stakes. Your MMR might not change, but for some reason they just figure out, for whatever reason, that there needs to be like a partial percentage of skill-based matchmaking that is in there.
enabled skill-based matchmaking for it, when in comparison to
I don't even know what fucking Lights Out is.
the My Little Oni, it was predominantly more fun. Even though it was way easier to die, you could imagine
The reason why these like little party games are fun and whatnot is because nobody knows, there's no meta to it. There's like, nobody's trying to be like, yes, you can have like some level of like skill of like understanding of like how the game physics work in the game or whatever, but like nobody knows what the heck they're doing. Nobody knows how to really like figure out the goals of the game, or and this isn't just for DBD. I'm talking about like any party mode for like any like just silly little party mode game version for their favorite video game. Like there's no meta. There like no one really understands what you're supposed to do. There's nothing optimized. Nobody is out here optimizing party party modes for a certain game. It's just ridiculous. If you want to like do good at a game, fucking do the ranked mode and optimize the shit out of, figure out the meta and everything like that for the ranked playlist of your game, you know. But conversely, a good argument against what I just said is fucking Fallout guys. Motherfuckers out here sweating fucking left and right for fucking Fall Guys. That's hilarious to me.
imagine My Little Oni as a game mode where people are just popping all the genders instantaneously and escaping,
Glizzy Gladiator.
making less people want to queue for killer. Or the Oni constantly slugging for the 4K in a casual fun game mode just because he wants to get 4 kills every match. It would have greatly reduced the enjoyment in the modifier. We also didn't track skill/level globally.
Okay, we also didn't track skill level globally, only per playlist. Oh, okay.
Only per playlist. The net result was that unranked matchmaking allowed a very wide range of skill levels to match together for what everyone agreed was casual,
Yeah.
inconsequential fun.
Yep.
Again, that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
But no, in the casual playlist for modern day games, the matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking has to be tight for whatever reason. This is where the argument, and I need to hear like from like the developers or whatever for like whatever popular FPS game that has like super tight skill-based matchmaking or whatever. I need to hear the reasons more in detail of why tight matchmaking is more important than I don't know, a loose wide range matchmaking.
Since the natural skill level distribution of players follows a bell curve, there are outliers, inherently low skill and high skill players.
Yes, but you don't design anything for low skill and high skill for like the outliers, like the top fucking 1% of on either side. You design the game for the most amount of players, the fucking 70 to like 90%.
Characterizing the high skill ones as sweaty teens hopped up on Monster Energy is really disrespectful.
True.
And to be honest, this article is probably made by someone who's just projecting their insecurities and has likely never been at the high skill level to the point where if this journalist was a game developer, they would likely infantilize a video game in the name of righteously making the game more fun for casual people, while tone-deafly making the game worse for everyone. Segregating high-skill players from the population at large, forcing long wait times in them is a form of discrimination. Designers should...
Segregating high-skill players from the population at large. Well, they've already segregated themselves by obtaining a high level of skill in their favorite video games. They've done that themselves. forcing long wait times on them. Competitive players are fine with long wait times when it comes to the ranked playlist of their mode. You know, there's going to be some degree of tolerance and some degree of intolerance when it comes to the matchmaking system. Like, to what levels they are actually to try to define one, I don't know that. I don't know how to put how long is like okay to wait for a fucking fair match versus like how long is not okay. That's like a whole nother thing, but is a form of discrimination. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would imagine if you have like really tight matchmaking, well, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a long fucking time. But if your matchmaking is a little more loose, then you don't have to wait as long.
Strive to find a way that players of all skill levels can have fun together.
Yeah, this is called do some fucking work and figure out like more modes to put into your game besides casual or public and ranked.
Casual, inconsequential, unranked matchmaking is one way.
Casual, inconsequential, unranked matchmaking is one way. Yeah. Put some more fucking party modes in your games, boys.
I dabbled with handicap settings and asymmetric game mode design as others. Game devs shouldn't take the easy way out and default to segregation, though. There's far more that can be done. Derogatory views like this among game developers is a cop-out and a disservice to players.
Yeah.
Hens mentioned a player who dug into the game's code that Dead by Daylight has individual skill brackets.
Oh, dang.
As you win more matches, you get to a higher skill bracket.
After ranking into this bracket, there's also a loss prevention system in place that prevents the player from immediately dropping back out even if they lose multiple matches in a row.
The more games you play, the better you...
Oh, dang. So with loss prevention, this was a thing in Apex, like with the bottom, what do you call it? Like each rank of like gold, silver, or fucking, what is it? Like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, predator. And within each one, it was like from bottom to top, it was like bronze 4, 3, 2, 1. Next rank, silver 4, 3, 2, 1. There was this like loss prevention thing when it comes to like if you're in like silver 4, you could never rank down in what do you call it, to the next rank if you're like silver 4 and you just like get beat down and go back down to like bronze 1 or whatever. Like some people like loss prevention, some people don't. I think it simply promotes within a ranked season of any video game, loss prevention just promotes people ranking up to their desired ranking level of their skill, and then once they feel that they can't progress anymore, they simply stop playing. That's just what I've seen based off my experience on Apex. You know, for me, it was always getting to like gold, or not gold, fucking Jesus. What was it? A diamond or whatever, and then the diamond 4. Sometimes I could push into diamond 3 if I was decent enough that day, but a lot of the times it was just chilling in diamond 4. And once I was like there, I was like, okay, I'm just fucking ramming my head against the goddamn wall at this point. So it was very frustrating. And from that point on, I just did like the casual mode for whatever Apex.
The more you get locked into the highest skill bracket. Yeah. This type of segregation is being utilized by the Dead by Daylight game developers in the name of making the game more casual and fair. But why is our community playing competitive even though we designed the system to be more fun for casual players? What that must mean is that people want the game to be competitive, which is likely the reason why Behavior has started doing sponsored tournaments and events, because they only see the symptoms of their decision making. I
had no idea that this game started to come out with sponsored tournaments for Dead by Daylight. I still don't. It's just hard for me to believe that Dead by Daylight is in any way like a competitive game, but like, I mean, shit, dude, anything could be competitive. There's fucking competitive juggle soccer, for Christ's sake, okay? That's a thing. Anything could be competitive as long as you slap on a ranked mode and put a bunch of parameters in it to figure out, oh, this is good and this is bad.
Not the root problem and cause as to why people feel this way. Eventually, over time, though, casual players may become filtered out due to the game being too stressful, and we'd only be stuck with a competitive, sweaty, try-hard player base. homogeneously. And if that's the case, if we've reached a point of no return, behavior at that point might as well just make a 5v5, where there's a team of 1 killer, 4 survivors, versus another team of 1 killer, 4 survivors.
How would this match go? I mean, is this like how tournaments are ran, like a team? Like you have like your one dude, like everybody's like decent at the game, but the designated killer is gonna be like this guy, and so it's like blue team killer and blue team survivors versus red team killer and like red team survivors or whatever. Okay.
Have map bans, have perk bans.
Oh shit. I can't imagine having like map bans and perk bans in Dead by Daylight. That like implementing these type of things would make it like 100% more even competitive. That's crazy.
Have killer bans and fully commit to making Dead by Daylight a competitive game. It's entirely risky, could backfire completely. That's why I believe behavior should probably just bring back the emblem-based or rank-based matchmaking, as that worked previously. People liked it.
I mean, well, he kind of acknowledged that like it could work if they implemented that whole system or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. It just depends, maybe.
And players just kind of want some good old-fashioned casual fun.
I mean, if players want like casual fun, like I still stand by like you should come out with like more modes for your favorite game.
So this was a Halo game developer's critique on the failure of modern-day skill-based matchmaking. I have to thank Choi for finding this and pointing this out. I'll leave a link to his channel and the video he uses to cover this exact same topic and behavior. Please. We've been tackling this problem from all angles, psychological, scientific, and now even coming from the mouth of another game developer himself. Skill-based matchmaking probably needs to go.
Dang.
But maybe you guys have a better solution.
Or at least loosen it up a little bit, it seems.
Solution in the form of modifiers or something. We'll see. I hope you understand why a lot of people are complaining about the current matchmaking system.
Oh, let me go back.
The failure.
So yeah, this is a pretty good video. I like it. I'm a fan now. I had no idea that DBD was in dire straits of. It seems like this is like the thing for all like casual games, or you know, they just inevitably become too competitive for the casual audience and whatnot. So the competitive audience pushes out the casual audience and whatever, and yeah, it's just this is the eventuality of most casual games. That do they become more competitive? Is this a good or a bad thing? Who's to say? But yeah, I think this is a pretty good video, breaking down SBMM, applying it to Dead by Daylight from an FPS, or the dude that made the matchmaking for Halo 1, or not 1, but like 2 and 3. But yeah, I mean, good video. I want to see more. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.